Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the newest interview with the cast of The Summer I Turned Pretty, where they reveal surprising secrets about filming the final season. From emotional reflections and behind-the-scenes chaos to the return of unresolved feelings between Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah, this interview gives us everything we need to understand what's coming in Season 3. Stick around, because we're breaking it all down, moment by moment. The interview opens warmly as Jimmy Fallon welcomes Lola Tung, Belly, Gavin Casalegno, Jeremiah, and Christopher Briney, Conrad. The atmosphere is high energy because this is the trio's first major appearance ahead of the final season's premiere. Fallon immediately goes for the biggest emotional question. Has it hit them yet that this is the final season? This triggers a layered emotional response from the cast. Lola's perspective. She admits the finality hasn't sunk in, and likely won't until the episodes are out, rewatched, and discussed. She describes the emotional delay actors often feel when a long project ends. The work ends months ago, but the cultural impact comes later. Chris' perspective. He gives an introspective answer. You work in a bubble. You feel the project belongs only to you. Especially because this season was very secretive. Then suddenly the world sees it, forms opinions, and the project becomes public. Gavin's angle. He doesn't follow fan theories much, but his mom does. She calls him with updates, fan rumors, and online theories. He never confirms anything for her, even when she's right, because he enjoys keeping her guessing. This dynamic shows the cast's real-life humility and how family plays into the fame experience. Fallon pivots to Season 2's massive cliffhanger, Belly choosing Jeremiah. The audience reacts immediately, with booing, cheers, and laughter. Lola's response. She remains neutral and graceful. She is Team Belly. She respects that Belly follows her heart in each moment, even when it divides the fandom. This is crucial because it echoes themes of the books. Belly's emotional evolution. Imperfect timing. Growing up through mistakes. Loving two people differently. Fan interactions. Gavin and Chris say fans tell them they're team every single day, often without even greeting them. Sometimes not even a hi. Just, by the way, I'm team. This is comical but shows how invested the fanbase is. How the triangle drives real-life social reactions. How the actors carry the weight of fictional choices everywhere they go. It reinforces the cultural phenomenon TSITP became. The intensity jumps when Fallon mentions Taylor Swift, whose music plays a major emotional role in the show. The audience explodes with cheers, showing how TSITP and Taylor Swift share audiences. Lola's favorite songs, current picks. The Way I Loved You, a season-defining track for love triangle nostalgia. Delicate. Chris adds. Last Great American Dynasty. Gavin. You Belong With Me, calling it a classic. Lola's near Taylor moment. She attended the Eras tour with Jenny Han and stood by the stage during False God. Taylor looked at them, waved, said, I love you guys, and made a heart. Lola says she almost fainted. This moment highlights Lola's genuine fangirl energy. How big the show has become, Taylor recognizing them. The deep connection between Swiftie culture and the TSITP fandom. Brotherhood chaos, prank wars and set stories. The brothers in the show, Jeremiah and Conrad, apparently behave like brothers off-screen too, sometimes loving, sometimes chaotic. Biggest story. Chris and Sean stole Gavin's car. How it happened. Gavin was in a wardrobe fitting. Chris and Sean entered pretending to greet him. Sean distracted him with a hug. Chris grabbed his keys. They hid his car in a huge lot. Gavin's reaction. He raised hell, stressed because he had surfing plans and his wallet was stuck in the car. This prank shows their genuine bond. Sibling-like teasing. Immature but hilarious set behavior. How stress and humor mixed during long filming hours. Gavin's revenge. Later, Gavin sat on top of Chris' car so he couldn't drive home. When that didn't work, he started running to the gas station to get food and water. The cast brought the video, and Fallon played it, showing Gavin sprinting at full speed. It's chaotic, funny, and highlights the trio's chemistry off-screen. Fallon asks Lola what fans can expect. Key points. An emotional roller coaster, even more intense than before. A time jump. More mature versions of the characters. Higher stakes. More layered emotional arcs. Is this really the end? The cast confirms. Yes, this is the last season of the trilogy. But they all say they'd return if Jenny Han ever continues the story. Chris emphasizes the importance of completing the full trilogy arc. Fallon notes TSITP is now the biggest show on TV, which the cast reacts to humbly. The clip Fallon shows features a quiet, tension-filled moment. Belly answers Conrad's call on Jeremiah's phone. It's awkward. Both Belly and Conrad sound uneasy. He hangs up quickly. The moment hints at unresolved feelings. The love triangle is not over. The audience cheers loudly, proving how heavily invested fans are. This interview highlights 1. The cast dynamic. They are playful, chaotic, and extremely close, like real siblings and friends. 2. The emotional weight. They feel the magnitude of ending a beloved trilogy and the pressure of fan expectations. 3. The cultural crossover. TSITP plus Taylor Swift equals one of the strongest fandom bonds of modern TV. 4. The love triangle remains at the center. Even in the final promo, the tension is alive and unresolved. 5. Jenny Han's storytelling authority. The cast respects that the story is hers and follows her guidance. 6. Set life humor. Prank culture shows the youthful behind-the-scenes energy that makes the show feel authentic. The cast repeatedly emphasized the final season tag. This isn't just another season, it's a milestone. Lola's comment about it sinking in later, when people are rewatching it, suggests the emotional impact will come after release. For them, production is done. For fans, the legacy begins with the public airing. Chris's comment about secrecy and then people having opinions highlights how much pressure is on the final run. Fans will watch with expectations, not just as first-time viewers. Implication for fans: expect reflections, maybe callbacks to earlier seasons, wrap-ups, character closure. The cast see fan theories, but aren't fully immersed. Gavin's mom interacting with theories is a light-hearted lens into how engaged the fandom is. The Team Conrad vs. Team Jeremiah debate is real and daily for the cast. Fans approach them to declare their side. This dynamic shows how the love triangle drives not just narrative, but real-life identity and fan interaction. Implication: the writers/producers know this fan split exists, so the final season likely addresses it, directly or indirectly, in dramatic ways. Lola says there's a time jump and characters are in a more mature place. This suggests the final season will shift tone, from youthful summer romance to something deeper, maybe adulthood, decisions, consequences. For fans, that means we should expect heavier themes, maybe less of light summer fun, more reflective journeys. It aligns with the final season label, time to grow up, say goodbye to adolescence. The heavy mention of Taylor Swift songs shows the show is embedded in current pop culture. The cast being Swifties themselves adds authenticity. This tie-in does two things. It strengthens the emotional soundtrack for the show, Music Matters. It appeals to the overlapping fanbases, TSITP fans plus Swifties. Implication: the final season may lean further into musical identity, nostalgia, cultural references to mark its end. Season 3 will open with a time jump. The characters will return somewhat older, away from the summer of youth feeling. There will be more introspection. Belly will wrestle with her past decisions, not just the choice but consequences. The triangle won't be simplified, Even though Belly chose Jeremiah, Conrad's presence and emotional pull will be vital, maybe culminating in a final reckoning, not just who she ends up with, but who she becomes. The tone will shift, less carefree, more reflective, maybe bittersweet, fitting for a final season. The soundtrack will be important. Taylor Swift songs will mark major beats, nostalgia, endpoints. For the fanbase, expect moments of closure, goodbye to summers, goodbye to that phase of life, and maybe one or two ambiguous notes, future of characters, open paths. The interview features The Summer I Turned Pretty stars Lola Tung, Gavin Casalegno, and Christopher Briney as they discuss the upcoming premiere of the show's third and final season. They admit that the reality of the series ending hasn't fully hit them yet, especially because filming felt so private and secretive, and only when fans begin watching will it truly sink in. The cast talks about fan theories. Lola and Chris see some of them online, while Gavin mainly hears about them through his excited mom, who frequently updates him on what fans are saying. The conversation shifts to the season 2 cliffhanger where Belly chose Jeremiah over Conrad, a moment that split the fandom. Lola explains that she has always been Team Belly, supporting her character's emotional journey and decisions. They reveal how passionate fans are in real life, often approaching them just to declare whether they're Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah, sometimes without even saying hello. The interview then turns to Taylor Swift, whose music is heavily used in the series. Lola, a big Swiftie, shares her favorite songs from the show, such as The Way I Loved You, Delicate, and You Belong With Me, and excitedly recalls attending the Eras tour with show creator Jenny Han, where Taylor looked at them, waved, and made a heart with her hands, almost causing Lola to faint from excitement. The conversation becomes playful as Gavin and Chris discuss their brotherly dynamic off-screen, filled with pranks. Chris and their co-star Sean once stole Gavin's rental car during filming, causing him to panic because he had plans to go surfing, and Gavin later got revenge by sitting on Chris's car so he couldn't drive away. At one point, Gavin even sprinted full speed to a gas station for food and water because his wallet was in the stolen car, a moment captured on video and shown during the interview. Lola then previews the final season, explaining that it continues the emotional intensity fans expect. From this interview, my best guess is Season 3 will open with a time jump. The characters will return somewhat older, away from the summer of youth feeling. There will be more introspection. Belly will wrestle with her past decisions, not just the choice but consequences. The triangle won't be simplified. Even though Belly chose Jeremiah, Conrad's presence and emotional pull will be vital, maybe culminating in a final reckoning, not just who she ends up with, but who she becomes. The tone will shift, less carefree, more reflective, maybe bittersweet, fitting for a final season. The soundtrack will be important. Taylor Swift songs will mark major beats, nostalgia, endpoints. For the fanbase, expect moments of closure, goodbye to summers, goodbye to that phase of life, and maybe one or two ambiguous notes, future of characters, open paths. Here are actionable things you, and fans in general, should watch for, based on this interview. Watch for time jump clues in Season 3, age, setting, maturity of characters. Pay attention to Belly's emotional path as she navigates her choice of Jeremiah and lingering feelings for Conrad. Notice how music choices, especially Taylor Swift tracks, underscore scenes, they may hint at tone and theme. Watch for fan theory callbacks. Since cast acknowledged the theory culture, the show may include nods or subversions of popular theories. Observe off-screen chemistry in cast interviews and promo, that may translate into on-screen depth, especially with the brothers' dynamic. The final season may bring heavier themes, responsibility, adulthood, change, letting go, so prepare for deeper emotional content. While expecting closure, keep an eye open for open-ended elements. The cast keep door ajar for future story possibilities. They say, this is the last season. But they also hedge, if Jenny Han wants, we're down. This dual message sets a firm expectation of closure while keeping possibility open. This is smart, fans. With a time jump that shows the characters in a more mature phase. The cast confirms the series is officially ending because it follows Jenny Han's trilogy of books, but they would be open to returning if she ever expands the story. They express gratitude for the show's massive success before the host airs an exclusive clip from Season 3, showing a tense moment between Belly, Jeremiah, and Conrad. The interview ends with applause and excitement for the season's premiere. As the interview comes to a close, the host thanks Lola Tung, Gavin Casalegno, and Christopher Briney for sharing their stories, behind-the-scenes memories, and heartfelt reflections on the final season of The Summer I Turned Pretty. The cast expresses their gratitude to the fans whose enthusiasm and support have helped the series grow into a global phenomenon. They encourage viewers to look forward to Season 3, promising deeper emotions, new challenges, and a meaningful conclusion to Belly's journey. The session ends on a warm and celebratory note as the audience applauds, and the show signs off by reminding everyone to tune in for the official premiere and exclusive scenes still to come. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this conversation with the cast of The Summer I Turned Pretty and you're excited for Season 3, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming interviews or exclusive clips. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, tell us whether you're Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah, and stay tuned for more amazing content coming your way.